Few trees can match the Japanese maple when it comes to versatility and beauty. At this time of year in particular, their autumn colour is stupendous, and now is a great time to plant, whether your garden is large or small. I have never met anybody who doesn't like Japanese maples, varieties in the main of Acer palmatum, because they're so beautiful, they're so obliging, and they will fit in the smallest of gardens because they don't grow terribly large. But out of all of them, I think this is perhaps the most popular. This is Acer palmatum Sango-kaku. It used to be called Senkaki, but Sango-kaku is the name now. At this time of year, you can see the foliage beginning to burnish. The colder weather starts those sugars in the leaf forming and turning them this lovely reddish colour. And when you look at the stems, they're always described as coral red. When the leaves have fallen, as they do on all Japanese maples, the stems are revealed and they give you colour right the way through the winter. In summer, the leaves on Sango-kaku are green, but you can see them now in their autumn finery. All Japanese maples change their leaf colour in autumn. They do it at different speeds and they grow different colours. Some grow scarlet, some orange, some crimson, some yellow. This one here, Arctic Jade, changes more slowly than Sango-kaku there. And this one starts to colour from the outside of the leaves inwards. And its stems here are green as opposed to that coral red colour on Sango-kaku. They vary in height. As you can see, these two are relatively tall growing, but none of them will eat you out of house and home. Few of them grow much taller than 10 feet and they've got a light and feathery canopy. Others stay lower, like Moonrise here. Moonrise has these leaves which are bright fresh green but with pinkish tinged leaf tips. It's also remarkably resistant to scorch. Now the thing about all Japanese maples is they hate drying winds and scorching sunshine. Dappled shade is what they like. Provided Japanese maples are sheltered from scorching sunlight and drying winds, they have few problems, but you will occasionally notice branches dying back. We don't always know why, but keep your eye open, and when you see little stems like this, which have died, snip them off as soon as you see them to avoid that dieback going further down the stem, and then you will usually arrest it. When it comes to dark foliage, few are a deeper shade than this one. This is Blood Good. This is a moderate-sized Japanese maple, really dark leaves. They colour up before they fall, but again, it's a good one to add contrast with lighter green ones around it. The Japanese maples with very, very finely cut leaves are varieties of Acer palmatum dissectum. Dissectum meaning the leaves are dissected, divided up even more. And then we get to the purple varieties of dissectum. They tend to form a lower mound of growth rather than being tall and upright, and that makes them very suitable for small gardens, but also for planting in pots and tubs. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with this one. Decent sized pot, good drainage hole in the bottom, bit of crock, make sure the drainage hole doesn't get blocked. I'm using peat-free ericaceous compost. Ericaceous means it doesn't have lime in it. Japanese maples prefer acid soil, and ericaceous compost is acid. If it's too chalky, they can get a little bit anemic and go a bit pale. But this one will be very happy in ericaceous. It's not essential, but for me, I like to give every plant a good start in life. And if you like that compost, you shall have it. Right, tap it out of its pot. And oh, now look at that. We've got a really root-bound plant here. Use a little hand fork and just tease them out. It encourages them to leave that central root ball and spread out into the compost where there's much more nutrition. It had to be too brutal, but this will just say to them, there's a lot more compost out there than the one you've been used to. The big wide world. Here we are. I love doing this. It means you get sort of up close and personal with your plant. That's about all it needs, really. It's just, you know, encourage it to travel a bit. I'm going to drop it down into there. Now that is too high. I want to leave sufficient gap between the rim of the pot and the surface of the compost so that I can fill it up with water and it will soak down. So I'm going to take a bit of that. In fact, what I can do is just pull it to the sides of the pot so that it will sit deeper inside it. There we are. Now that's pretty perfect. I've also got about 3 inches, 8 centimetres around the side, which I can fill with new compost and encourage those roots to come outwards. You don't have to ram it. Can you see me? I'm in here. You don't have to ram it down. I can feel the root ball under there. It's just about 1 inch below the surface. When I put water on it in a minute, it'll soak straight down. But later on, when roots have really begun to occupy that compost, the water will sink more slowly. And that means if you can fill it up to the rim and then leave it, remember always 1 inch of water travels 9 inches downwards. And isn't that handsome now? There it sits. How long can it live in a pot like this? It'll certainly do 4 or 5 years quite happily before you need to give it some extra nutrition. And that can mean either taking it out, scraping away some of the root ball and repotting it in the same pot but with fresh compost, or moving it up a size. In a pot this big, this maple is going to be happy in here for quite a few years. I know I watered it before I planted it, that's important, but so too is watering it immediately afterwards. And then just keep your eye on the surface of the compost. When it starts to look a little bit dry, give it a really good soak. Then don't go back again till it looks dry again. Then come the spring and the summer, of course they're more thirsty, they'll need a little more. The variety you get in terms of foliage, colour and shape means that everybody wants to collect them, everybody including me. I planted them in the situation I knew they would like. It's a raised bed with good, well-drained soil, and it gets shade from the scorching sun of midday and afternoon as the sun goes round from these birch trees. It's also sheltered by the yew hedge behind, which throws off the colour of the Japanese maples as a brilliant foil. If I was allowed just one Japanese maple, it would definitely be this one, Seryu. I grew it in a pot for about 10 years, then we moved house. So 23 years ago I planted it out, and it's turned into this glorious arching tree, delicate foliage, glorious orange autumn colour, and just a habit which is full of grace. So have I included your favourite Japanese maple? Comment below and let me know. If you want more gardening advice and inspiration like this, then why not subscribe to my channel? I'm posting new videos every week.